At this time, I would ask if everyone would please rise. Good afternoon, and welcome to this most beautiful venue to witness and celebrate the uniting in marriage of Merel-Ann Raniger-Owen and Mark Addison. Before we begin, I want to share a few words about Mark and Merel. Mark and Merel are a very special couple. They've been together for the past 8 years as their relationship has evolved into an enduring love. Their stars collided when Mark and Merel found themselves at the same bar in London's Theatre District one evening in July after they had been to different musical productions. Mark was immediately drawn to Merel's beauty, and after talking to her, he realized that she was not only beautiful, but also super bright and funny. They had their first official date 2 weeks later after Merel returned to London from a family holiday in Italy. Mark recalls how their conversation easily flowed all evening and how, when it came time to walking Merel home 8 hours later, he didn't want the evening to end. In fact, Mark describes this date as the best date ever. 8 years later, Mark actually recreated the sequence of events of their first date and walked Merel to the area where she used to live and proposed to her in a quiet, private, and very romantic moment at a nearby park. One thing that struck me about Mark and Merel is how strong their love is for each other. Mark told me about the depth of his love with Merel and how she's the kindest person he knows, amazingly smart, and also very passionate in her beliefs. Mark feels so lucky to be with Merel, who, he told me, is talented, gifted, and smarter, and even prettier than he is. Merel likewise shared how Mark has brought so much love into her life and how he makes her feel so happy and supported. He's kind, smart, curious, cares deeply about his family and friends, doesn't take himself too seriously, and can make friends with just about anyone. It's clear that Mark and Merel truly complement one another. They both enjoy learning new things together and deeply value their relationship together with others. As Merel describes it, their relationship is one that's filled with lighthearted joking, intellectual connection, and deep support and love for one another. It is this love and support that allowed their relationship to thrive despite a long distance between them for most of their relationship. So we're here today as Mark and Merel reinforce the love that they have for each other for now and for always. Today, Merel and Mark proclaim their love and commitment to the world, and we gather here today to rejoice with them. Marriage is such a supreme sharing of experience and an adventure in the most intimate of human relationships. Marriage will allow you both a new environment to share your lives together, standing together to face life hand in hand. Marriage is going to make burdens lighter because you divide them. It makes joys more intense because you share them. It makes you stronger so that you can be involved with life in ways you dare not risk alone. The secret of love in marriage is to be in love and in trust, to know that in your hearts you truly want the best for the other. It takes dedication to stay open to one another, to learn and grow, even when it's difficult to do so. And it takes faith to go forward together without knowing exactly what the future holds for you both. Now at this time, I'd like to invite Mark's friend, Rupert, to join us for a reading of The Art of Marriage by Wilfred Peterson.
The Art of Marriage by Wilfred Peterson. The little things are the big things. It's never being too old to hold hands. It's remembering to say, I love you, at least once a day. It's never going to sleep angry. It's at no time taking each other for granted. The courtship should not end with the honeymoon. It should continue through all the years. It is having a mutual sense of values and common objectives. It is standing together facing the world. It is forming a circle of love that gathers in the family. It is doing things for each other, not in the attitude of duty or sacrifice, but in the spirit of joy. It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It is not expecting the husband to wear a halo or the wife to have the wings of an angel. It is not looking for perfection in each other. It is cultivating flexibility, patience, understanding, and a sense of humour. It is having the capacity to forgive and forget. It is giving each other an atmosphere in which each can grow. It is a common search for the good and the beautiful. It is establishing a relationship in which independence is equal, dependence is mutual, and the obligation is reciprocal. And finally, it is not only marrying the right partner, it is being the right partner.
Thank you, Rupert. I'd now like to invite Mariel's mother, Rebecca, to join us for a reading of A Creed to Live By.
Don't undermine your worth by comparing yourself to others. It's because we are different that each of us is special. Don't set your goals by what other people deem as important. Only you know what is best for you. Don't take for granted the things closest to your heart. Cling to them as you would your life, for without them, life is meaningless. Don't let your life slip through your fingers by living in the past or for the future. By living your life one day at a time, you live all the days of your life. Don't give up when you still have something to give. Nothing is really over until the moment you stop trying. Don't be afraid to encounter risks. It's by taking chances that we learn how to be brave. Don't shut love out of your life by saying it is impossible to find. The fastest way to lose love is to hold to it tightly, and the best way to keep love is to give it wings. Don't dismiss your dreams. To be without dreams is to be without hope, and to be without hope is to be without purpose. Don't run through life so fast that you forget not only where you've been, but also where you're going. Life is not a race, but a journey to be savored each step of the way.
Thank you, Rebecca. Please join hands again. I'd like you both to think about the hands that you're now holding. These are the hands of your best friend, holding your hands on your wedding day, promising to love you and to work together as you both create your future. These are the hands that will give you strength when you need strength, tenderness when you need tenderness, and love when you need love. These are the hands that will countless times wipe the tears from your eyes, tears of sorrow, but also tears of joy. These are the hands that will hold all those whom you love. And these are the hands that years from now will be still searching for your hands, still seeking the love, encouragement, and support that each of you seeks from the other. Now, question for each of you. Do you, Mark, promise to love Merel and respect her, to share your life and your dreams, to build with her a home that's a place of love, happiness, commitment, and growth? If so, look into her eyes and say, I do.
I do.
And do you promise to be a companion to her in all of her successes, even failures, her happiness and sadness, to always give her your unwavering support, and above all else, the freedom to be Merel?
I do.
And do you, Merel, Promise to love Mark and respect him, to share your life and your dreams, to build with him a home that's a place of love, happiness, commitment, and growth? If so, look into his eyes and say, I do.
I do.
Do you promise to be a companion to him in all of his successes, even failures, to always give him your unwavering support, and above all else, the freedom to be Mark?
I do.
Now, this moment is the anchor that holds your past and your future together. Today, you're beginning a new journey together that will last the rest of your lives. And like any journey, there's going to be amazing experiences on mountaintops, like this one today. Today being such one experience. But sometimes you're going to walk through valleys and have trouble finding your way. But no matter where you go, no matter how long the journey is, or even how difficult, the person beside you is going to make your journey worthwhile. Today, your wedding day is one brief day in time, and although your vows are going to be spoken in a matter of minutes, they're promises that are going to last a lifetime. So Mark, I'm going to ask that you please state your vows to Merel.
Merel, I feel so lucky to have you here standing next to me as my wife-to-be. You are the kindest person that I know. You're incredibly thoughtful and loyal. I love that you'll go the extra mile for your friends and family. I love that you have embraced my family. These last 2 weeks travelling around California have been a holiday of a lifetime for us all. And we are so grateful for all the planning and travelling and driving that you did. I admire your grit and determination. Managing to get through your PhD, setting up your own company, mentoring a young Chicagoan girl, all whilst adopting a lovable cat, were a real source of inspiration and made me incredibly proud of you. I love your brain. It is the most beautiful part of you, and you do look more beautiful than ever today. I love just talking with you. I love that you have an open mind and are willing to humour me, whether it be watching a few too many episodes of The Americans in one go, reading an economics article, or even getting soaked in beer watching England's World Cup run at the pub. I love the way you care for me, be it cooking all the fantastic food you do, calming me down when I get a little overexcited, or just listening to my dreams and concerns and supporting me. I promise that I will be a caring, loving partner. I will be your biggest cheerleader and your shoulder to cry on during tough times. I promise to always listen and be open-minded. I promise to support your career and help you succeed in meeting your goals and dreams. I promise to be your travelling partner, to keep exploring with you and taking new adventures. I promise, should we be fortunate enough to have them, to be the best dad I can be to our kids, teach them to aim high, dream big, and how lucky they are to have an awesome mum. I also promise not to encourage them to play American football, accepting that on head-related issues, you know best. I promise to be what a best friend should be, someone to laugh with, and someone who is always there for you no matter what. I promise to try and eat and walk more slowly, and although I'm not very optimistic on successfully completing this one, of learning more than one line of a song. I promise to try and be the best husband I can be, and make you feel loved and respected every day.
Mark, 8 years and 8 days ago we met by chance. Since then we have already navigated 8 years of life together. We have climbed the rock fortress in Sri Lanka, seen the great migration of wildebeests on the Serengeti, gotten caught in a rainstorm on the windy roads of the Cotswolds, done cave diving in the cenotes of Mexico, and eaten our way through Tuscany. We have gotten through 7 years of long distance and survived 4 moves, a PhD, and now planning a wedding. You have stood next to me during my greatest successes, and you have held my hand through the toughest obstacles. You are my food critic, ski buddy, movie companion, coach, nurse, debate opponent, tennis partner, book club member, and personal cheerleader. Our love has been slowly built upon the many small moments together during doing the things that we enjoy. You're my motivation, my goals, and my family. Starting today, you're my future. I love the way you bring energy into a room and are endlessly curious and an eternal optimist. You can make friends with anyone in no time, and you always see the best in people. I love your childlike enthusiasm, that you bought me a Bulls t-shirt when we went to a game in Chicago so that no one would know I don't love sports. When we went on safari, you bought the full outfit, from adventuring hat to the hiking boots. One time you said you would clean the whole apartment, and I turned around to watch you use a lint roller to clean off the dining room table. I love your consistency, the way you wear your same Casio watch every day. You use it to time your swims, and when it breaks, you buy a new one, exactly the same one. After dating for only 3 months, I moved back to California. When you promised you'd call me every day, I have to admit I was a little skeptical, but you did. You called me every day, sometimes twice. I love the way you make me feel strong and even brave. Eleanor Roosevelt says you must do the thing that scares you the most. You help me do this, constantly encouraging me and picking me up when things feel difficult. Many people here might know that patience doesn't come easy to you at times. But during my 6 years in Chicago, I have never known such strong and enduring patience. When I was ready to quit, you took my hand and said, "You're not a quitter." You motivated me and stayed a steady constant throughout the entire process. I know that I will be stronger facing life's challenges with you by my side. For our marriage, I make these promises to you. I promise to accept that today is the second best day of your life, a close second to the day when England entered into a penalty shootout game of the World Cup and did not lose. I promise to keep the romance alive. For example, I will continue to get into bed ready to enthusiastically and passionately discuss China's latest economic policy or the pros and cons of quantitative easing. I promise to stay adventurous, to practice patience, and to try not to take myself too seriously. I promise to build a home filled with good food, music, friends, and happy memories. I promise to be intentional with my words and make your dreams my own. I promise to keep laughter and humor alive in our marriage and to always leave enough time to get to the airport. I promise to expand our interests, try new things, read new books, and explore what the world has to offer. I promise to love you, even when you lose at Monopoly. I promise to go through life with you. Charles Darwin says, "It is not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who can best manage change." I promise to change with you, learn from you, and continue to grow with you.
At this time, I would ask for the rings, please. May these rings that I hold in my hands symbolize your inherent wholeness and unity with one another, giving you the strength to happily honor the commitments that you have just made. May these remind you that your marriage is not a destination, but a journey with no beginning and no end, just a moment-to-moment opportunity to love and to be loved to the best of your ability. So Mark, as you place this ring on Merel's finger, repeat after me. I give this ring to you,
I give this ring to you,
my beloved,
my beloved,
my friend,
my friend,
my wife.
my wife.
Whenever I see this ring,
Whenever I see this ring,
I will remember the cherished bond
I will remember the cherished bond
we have created here today.
we have created here today.
And Merel, as you place the ring on Mark's finger, repeat after me. I give this ring to you,
I give this ring to you,
my beloved,
my beloved,
my friend,
my friend,
my husband.
my husband.
Whenever I see this ring,
Whenever I see this ring,
I will remember the cherished bond
I will remember the cherished bond
we have created here today.
we have created here today.
Now, for a moment, I'd like you both to turn and face all of your friends and family. Merel and Mark stand now before those that they love and love them, those that have raised them, taught them, supported them, and shaped them. Most importantly, have given them not only the capacity to love, but to understand it and the desire to return it. Because of that, they're now able to stand across from each other to take the limitless wealth that each of you have given them in time, in spirit, in love, and return it, not just to themselves and not just to you, but to the memory of those who passed and to the hope for those yet to be. And for that, Merel and Mark both knowing that language often fails emotion, simply say thank you to each and every one of you for being here today. So Merel and Mark, please turn and face each other again. To make your relationship work will take love. This is the core of your marriage and why you're here today. It'll take trust to know that in your hearts, you truly want the best for each other. It'll take dedication to stay open and to learn and grow together. It will take faith to go forward together without knowing exactly what the future brings. And it will take commitment to hold true to the journey you have both pledged today. So Merel and Mark, you've expressed your love to one another through the commitment and the promises you have just made. It is with these in mind, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may now kiss. And now, to all the family and friends who have come to celebrate this marriage, I would like to present for the first time Mark and Merel as husband and wife. Merel, let's give her a bouquet.
My pleasure and a true honor to introduce to you Mark and Merel, the bride and groom. Make some noise on your feet, ladies and gentlemen. Get your cameras out, get your hashtags ready. Your bride and groom for tonight, Mark and Merel.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we see, no, I won't be afraid, no, I won't be afraid, just as long as you stand by me. Oh, darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. If the sky we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountains should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. Oh, darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Whenever you're in trouble, you just stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Whenever you're in trouble, you just stand by me.
ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for your bride and groom, Mark and Mariel. Oh yeah.
Welcome to everyone, and thank you for coming and helping us celebrate the wedding of Mark and Merel. For those of you I don't know and haven't had the privilege of meeting, I'm the other Mark, Merel's dad. And Becky and I are delighted that you've joined us this evening and joined us in this spectacular place. When Merel and Mark came to us and said, we're going to have our wedding on the top of a hill in Southern California, my immediate reaction was, okay, that'll be a really, really small wedding. I thought maybe, I had this image of Mark, Merel, and maybe Merel's grandparents who live nearby, sort of sitting in wonderful isolation up here around a small round table. But it was not to be. So I started to ask myself, why? Why did all of you come? And my first reaction was, well, it's probably the weather. But having been there this week, I can attest to the fact that the UK has just bought some California weather. It's part of the Trump trade, and so they bought some California weather. So it wasn't the weather. And then I thought, well, maybe it's the novelty of seeing a beautiful California marry a Brit called Mark. But I realized some of you have seen that movie as well. And then I thought, well, maybe, looking around, maybe it's true. You all want the latest on research in Alzheimer's, or you all want to discover what the latest currency trade is. But I figured that probably wasn't the case either. Is that another drone? So anyway, I after thinking about this, And looking around today and yesterday and last night, I started to figure it all out. Because I look around this room, I see people who've known Merrill their whole life. People who really can't believe that this beautiful bride, the radiant bride, is that same tantrum 2-year-old who sat in London puddles. I look around and I see parents, many parents here, who've woken on many a weekend to find Merrill and her friends strewn across their family room. I see many of Merrill's friends who've started in adolescence and have been very, very close friends of hers for the last 20 years. And I see friends from Chicago and from college. Many of them had starring roles in the long-running sitcom called Merrill Makes a PhD. So wherever I look, there are people, and there are people who've come from far and wide. And over the last 8 years, and yes, you will be the cautious okay, good. Well, I hope that's true. And so over the last 8 years, I've got to know Mark, and we've got to know Tony and Di, and Lucy and John and Ruth. And I think what I've realized is that Mark has many, many of the same friends and many of the same colleagues. And when I look at childhood friends, friends from college, work colleagues from multiple continents, I see many of the same things. And this was brought home to me a couple of months ago when I learned of Mark's bachelor party in Las Vegas, at least part of it. And realized that he had friends who had flown literally halfway across the world to be at that event. And those same friends have made that return trip tonight to be here. And it really is a testament to Mark that these friendships last, and testament to Merrill of all the things. And so I began to understand why this is the case. And someone once said it takes a village. And I think we can truly say tonight that we are Merrill and Mark's village. And so I would really ask you to join me in raising a toast to the bride and groom. Bride and groom. Thank you.
Mer, I really do feel incredibly lucky, happy, and excited to be starting this next phase of our lives together. Mer and I met 8 years and 8 days ago in a bar in London's Soho district. Her beauty was obvious immediately, but little could I believe my luck as we started to date. As Eric mentioned, not only was Merrill incredibly beautiful, but she was funny, kind, super smart, and actually laughed at my jokes. Some of the time. Over the course of our relationship, large parts have been spent a long way apart. But I always figured that in order for a couple to keep a relationship working, with that kind of distance, there must be something special there. And Merrill is, indeed, a very special person. I both want to thank you all for being here with us to celebrate this day. It means the world. As Becky and Mark mentioned, a lot of you have travelled a huge amount of distance to be here today. We really appreciate the effort you have all gone to. We hope that you're enjoying Southern California and your holidays here. There are a bunch of people that Mer and I would like to thank. Firstly, Mark and Becky, Merrill's parents. You have been so incredibly kind to me right from very off. I could not possibly ask to be marrying into a nicer family. Thank you for being so warm and welcoming. And of course, a special thank you for hosting this fantastic day and the events around it and all your help with the planning. We couldn't have done it without you. Secondly, we both want to thank my own parents, who have always made Merrill feel very welcome and loved. Mer and I were both incredibly lucky to have very happy and privileged upbringings because of the love and hard work of our parents. We both feel if we can do half as good a job as raising our own children in the future, hopefully, we will be very happy. I know that Merrill also wants to thank her maid of honor, Mallory, and her bridesmaids. I know that she values all your friendship and support an incredible amount, and I personally just want to say thank you for being there for Merel both today and over the years and going forward as well. On my side, I want to thank my best man and groomsman, Jay. I know that growing up with an overly competitive brother wasn't the easiest at times, but you really have been a fantastic support to both Lucy and I wouldn't have wanted anyone else next to me today as my best man. Rupert, you are my oldest friend, and whether it's been countless tennis games and PlayStation sessions growing up, or looking after me on skiing holidays, you have always been there, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. Dan and Rob, unfortunately we don't see each other enough these days, but it still brings a smile to my face thinking of all our time living together in London. I'm so grateful I got the opportunity to do that with you guys, so thank you. Finally, Will. You have been the best friend I could have asked for since moving to New York. You introduced me to your friends right away and helped make the whole move to a new country where I didn't know many people so much easier. I'm incredibly lucky to work so closely with one of my best friends. Mara and I, of course, would like to thank all the fantastic people who have worked so hard to put on today's event. In particular, we want to thank our awesome planner, Belanti and Alana, who have been instrumental in organising today. Thank you so much, Belanti and Alana. We want to thank the mum and daughter combo of Emma and Jenny for the beautiful flower arrangements, Rob and Elise and all the catering staff for the delicious food and service. I'm sure you... Natural speaker. I have a career in politics. I'm sure you've all been enjoying the beautiful music by Spags, and we look forward to seeing you on the dance floor later, so thank you very much, Spags. And a special thank you to our photographer, Emma, and our husband, Alan, and also to our videographers, Paulina and Alex. And finally, a thank you to Eric for conducting the ceremony. On that note, Mara and I just want to thank you all again for being here today with us to celebrate this special day. Thank you so much.
Katharine Hepburn once said that love has nothing to do with what you are expecting to get, only with what you are expecting to give, which is everything. To me, this sums up the relationship between Merel and Mark. Hello, everyone, and good evening. I'm fortunate enough to know most of you here tonight, but for those who I have not yet met, my name is Emily, and I am one of Merel's many best friends. I'd like to start off with a thank you to Mark and Becky, also affectionately known as Popsy and Minky, for a truly wonderful evening. I cannot imagine a more perfect way to celebrate the love and marriage of Mark and Merel. Thank you as well to Dr. and Mrs. Addison for a lovely rehearsal dinner last night that started this weekend off on the right foot. I've known Merel since we were 5, when we used to scheme of constructing a backyard playhouse with tunnels connecting our 2 yards. I have many stories of Merel, from countless trips to Stanford Sierra Camp with stops at Marie Callender's for chocolate pie, to Britney Spears karaoke sessions and annual trips to Vegas. So it was very hard to decide which stories to share with you tonight. I think that one that sums up some of the things I love best about Merel is when we learned to sail at Stanford Sierra Camp. We took a course one morning with the staff there, and upon completion, we were granted permission to take out a boat by ourselves. Eager to show off our new skills, we decided that we would love to take out my sister and Merel's family. We, of course, had no idea about the freak summer thunderstorm that was about to roll in. Needless to say, the winds and the lightning proved too great a foe for our fledgling sailing skills. We were, in the end, thankfully rescued by the camp director, whom we call Hero Dave, in a motorboat. While Minky still cringes to think of the damage that the rain did to her hair, but we weren't. But Merel's ability to stay calm and even find humor during adversity is something I continue to admire about her to this day. The first chance I had to spend some quality time getting to know Mark was on a trip to Tahoe and Yosemite. Mark, in his typical fashion, was excited and enthusiastic about every moment. This is one of the things that I admire most about him. He even remained enthusiastic after he and Mariel ran out of water about halfway to the top of Yosemite Falls. Who precisely drank all of the water is still debated to this day. But the way that Mark and Mariel supported each other, even while lamenting the lack of water, really clued me in that this might be a relationship that was going to be special. Since then, I have loved watching them grow closer and even more compatible over time. I'd like to share one additional story about Mark, and this one really solidified that he was a perfect match for Mariel. We planned a weekend getaway in New York for my 30th birthday. Mariel and Mallory, knowing my love for Sarah Bareilles, had purchased 2 tickets for me and my husband to go see the Broadway musical Waitress. When my husband had to cancel due to work obligations, Mariel made the logical decision to go with me. Mark, thoroughly appalled, and not even having been invited, immediately purchased a 3rd ticket directly behind us. We had a lovely evening together and still enjoy singing the songs to this day. Mariel, most people count themselves lucky just to have a best friend, let alone one as amazing as you, who they have known since they were 5. It has been incredible to grow up with you and watch you become the woman that you are today. You're compassionate, brilliant, hardworking, and beautiful to top it all off. There isn't a person in the world that I would rather have as a role model for my daughters. I am truly grateful for your friendship today and always, and you are the obvious first choice to be Brooke's fairy godmother. I hope that she grows up to be as strong and caring as you. Mark, it takes a special man to stand next to all of that. Not only do you complement Mariel's strengths, you bring your own enthusiasm, intelligence, and kindness to the table. Together, you two are an unstoppable force that I have no doubt will improve our world. At this point, I would like to ask you all to raise your glasses once more to Mark and Mariel to celebrate their next step in their life together. Yep. I hope. Hold on. Not done yet. I hope that the two of you continue to fall more and more in love with each other, and every day that you share a full lifetime of happiness. My greatest hope for you is that you never run out of water or musicals to share in the future.
Tonight. So, hello all. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mallory, Mariel's little sister, best friend, and biggest fan. Merel and I have been through many ups and downs, and I couldn't be more excited to stand here today and watch her marry the love of her life. It's easy to talk about Mariel's accomplishments and interests. She is a brilliant scientist, delving deeply into the mysteries of the brain and its many pathologies, a dedicated educator, an entrepreneur, and a philanthropist. Having read all of her PhD thesis, entitled Understanding the Brainstem's Role in the Loss of Independent Joint Control in Chronic Hemiparetic Stroke, I can vouch for her brilliance, her creativity, and her awesome analytical skills. But while Mariel's many accomplishments could fill an entire speech, they are not what make her uniquely special. They are not the things that make me immeasurably proud and happy to call her my sister. Many of you have the privilege of having built decades-long friendships with Mariel, so you understand what I'm about to say. Mariel is the best sister or friend anyone could ask for. She is infinitely loyal. She is the kindest person I know, and she will do anything she can to help those close to her. She is fiercely protective of those she loves. She is silly and loving and can always be counted on to laugh in the face of adversity. She is my favorite person, my biggest cheerleader, and my best protector, as I am hers. It therefore gives me so much joy to see her so happy with Mark. For the rest of my speech, I want to talk about their relationship and the qualities that make them so perfect for each other. Many of you may know that as children, Merel and I did not always see eye to eye. I was a little weirdo. Merel was a social butterfly. I wanted to sit alone with my Tamagotchi and my Pokemon. Merel wanted to play hide and seek together. At one point, I got so fed up with her constant nagging that I bit her just to get her to leave me alone. It did, for several years. Even at that age, Merel always wanted to be with other people, to know about them and to spend time with them. Her relationships with others, the lifelong friendships she has formed with so many of you, have always made up the core of who she is. This is a trait I see in Mark as well. On our recent family safari in Tanzania, any place we went, Mark made new friends. I remember one afternoon game drive during which Merel kept having to remind Mark to look at all the animals because he was deep in conversation with our driver, Rakuti, about the current political landscape of Tanzania. Even on the flights, when the rest of us were crammed into the tiny rattling aircrafts, desperately trying not to either panic or lose our breakfasts, Mark would be happily chatting with the other passengers and would routinely come off the flights knowing their entire life stories. Mark has that same wonderful, nearly childlike desire as I found so annoying in Merel as children. He wants to know about people just because he finds them interesting and because he values and respects their opinions. Merel and Mark share this insatiable curiosity about others, their belief that every story is worth knowing, and their deep, abiding commitment to their friends and families that makes us all love them so much. In this aspect of both of their personalities, I can't help but be reminded of our paternal grandmother, Ma'am, who was a living encyclopedia of the lives and times of the several 100,000 people who lived in her corner of South Wales. Mark, you are marrying into a family where your ardent interest in other people has a long tradition. Merel and Mark's partnership is built on a foundation of trust, mutual support, and downright silliness. On one of the first occasions that Mark visited California, my mom took him to Costco, soon to become his favorite store. She turned around at one point to find Mark sliding across the polished floors of Costco like a child might, grinning ear to ear. And anyone who has heard Merel hold forth about her love of the noble octopus or witnessed her sheer youthful delight at being presented with an order of crab cheese puffs from Mandarin Gourmet will know that this joyous approach to life is something they share. Even in the most difficult times, I know that they can make each other laugh, that they can appreciate the overwhelming absurdity of most situations. They also share what I consider to be one of the rarest and most precious attributes you can find in a person, an ability to take an interest in just about anything. I have debated Mark on topics ranging from the politics of the Middle East, to our thoughts on education policy in Britain, to mental health treatment in New York. Whatever topic is being discussed, Mark will engage with an open mind. Merel, too, is blessed with this ability to take an interest in anything, as evidenced by her actively learning about politics for the past 8 years, just so that she has something to talk to Mark about. Friedrich Nietzsche said, "Marriage is a long conversation. When marrying, you should ask yourself this question: do you believe you are going to enjoy talking to this person into your old age? Everything else in a marriage is transitory." For the past 8 years, Merel and Mark have been holding a long, beautiful conversation, one in which they have accommodated each other, supported one another through difficult times, and each opened the mind of the other to new ideas, new ways of thinking, and new interests. I have no doubt that they will continue this lively conversation for the rest of their lives, and I could not be more excited to witness it. Merel, in Mark, you have found someone who shares your values, who will never stop asking, "What do you think of this?" And someone who will never fail to make you both laugh during difficult times. You have found not only someone to love, but someone who will challenge and respect you throughout your life, a true partner. Mark, when I was little, in between Merel's pestering sessions, I always secretly wished that I had a brother. In you, not only is Merel gaining a husband, but I am also getting my long-held wish. I could not have asked for a kinder, more interesting, or more engaging brother to welcome into the family. And I look forward to teasing you, learning from you, and discussing politics with you for the rest of our lives. I also want to share one piece of advice that Otta, my grandfather, if you don't know him, gave me on the occasion of his and Alma's 65th wedding anniversary. If in doubt, just stay quiet and do what you are told. So, Merel and Mark, I cannot wait to watch the two of you build a wonderful life and a family together. I love you both so very much. And let's all raise our glasses to the best big sister anyone could ask for and to her perfect match. Cheers.
Yes, you're lovely.
I just want to start by saying, Mark and Merel, great work on your first dance as man and wife. I think they deserve another round of applause. I'm not going to forget that dancing for a long time. For those of you that don't know me, my name's John, and I have the honour of being Mark's best man today. I'm also Mark's little brother, or at least I was, up until 1989, when much to Mark's distress and dismay, he became my little brother. You know, I have to admit, that today feels slightly surreal. We started off life growing up in a small rural village up in northern England. So Mark, who would have thought that 30 years on we'd find ourselves in the hills overlooking Malibu, and that you would be marrying Merel, who grew up over 5,000 miles away. Life is a crazy and wonderful thing at times, and I just want to say what an absolute honour and a pleasure it is to be able to come out here and spend it with you. Merel, I just want to echo Mark's earlier comments and say that you look simply stunning today. I think everyone knows you now. Thank you so much for making my brother a very, very happy man. It means a lot. Merel, my sister informed me that it is tradition in the US to have a lot of bridesmaids. So I'm so glad you decided to economise and go with the 9. Bridesmaids, you all look lovely. I'm thrilled that Mark's on his way and you're wearing his favourite colour, dusty pink. Now, as I'm sure we all know, Mark is a special and unique individual. And I feel it would be remiss of me, nay, a dereliction of my best man duties, if I did not spend a couple of moments sharing some observations and stories about the man in question. Now, where on earth do you start with Mark? He is a lively, expressive, some might even go as far to say highly excitable character. None more so when he is in the midst of a good, passionate debate. This is Mark's all-time favourite hobby. Forget football, soccer, rugby, those will come a distant second to a good debate.
Mark's favourite topics include such classics as the impact of the Bank of England's constant easing policy on the UK economy and labour markets. Who would not want to be part of that debate? Whether the despicable act of diving should be outlawed in football, particularly against his beloved Man United. And my personal favourite, whether children should only play with gender-neutral toys. Now, Mark, if you want to play with an action man dressed as a Barbie doll, it's okay. No one is going to judge you. Now, at the start of most debates, Mark is usually pretty cool, calm, usually. But as things progress, the facade quickly falls away, and you get to observe the Madison in all his full glory, along with a number of his wonderful mannerisms. Two in particular spring to mind. First, there is the constant and almost manic grabbing of the hair. It ends up looking like the Nutty Professor. This is particularly prevalent if you interrupt Mark with a well-timed moronic question. Something I pride myself on. An irritated expression will cross my brother's face and he'll go, "No, that is not what I mean, you have totally missed the point." If you haven't tried to solicit this reaction from my brother before, I highly recommend it. Second, we have the random and almost inexplicable sporting poses. If you are lucky enough to be debating with Mark standing up, it will not be long before these start getting busted out. Now typically Mark starts with a couple of golf swings. Now bearing in mind that Mark won't have interrupted his flow one iota, and then as Mark goes on the verbal attack, you might even bring out what I can only assume Mark believes to be some punishing forehand tennis drives. Or even a serve. Mark, if that is actually how you play tennis, Roger Federer has nothing to do. If his opponents are lucky enough to actually get a word in edgeways and do a riposte, Mark brings out the forward defence as he literally tries to pass away any counter arguments. Now anyone that has debated with Mark knows that he is a competitive man. Lucy and I have known this all our lives. When we were younger, Mark became absolutely obsessed with the Tour de France. So naturally, Mark being Mark, he decided that it was time that we recreate our own Tour de France and have the Tour de Greenacre. Now shut your eyes and imagine the most budget child's bike race around your front lawn and you're pretty much what's going on. But you know, emotions were running high. Mark was out to prove his alpha male status in the family. Now we didn't have a yellow jersey, or to give it its correct French name, a maillot jaune. So Mark decided that the winner would get to receive a large, bulbous yellow helmet, what he proudly called the chapeau jaune. I know, alas, things didn't go quite according to plan for me. In what can only be described as tragic circumstances, I was forced to retire as Mark was leading the peloton of three from life-threatening dehydration. The support vehicle, which was my mother, had done a terrible job of keeping me hydrated. It's safe to say that Mark went absolutely ballistic, claiming I had delegitimized his win and robbed him of the chapeau jaune. Now I realise that today is a special day, so I think it's time I set the record straight. Mark, I might have laid the extent of my injuries on a little bit thick, and in fact, I was probably just a sore loser. And yes, you are the winner and the champion, the Tour de Greenacre. So in front of all your family and friends, I thought I would give you your wedding present and reunite you with your favourite Now, Mark's competitive spirit has served him well to date. He's managed to pick one of the very few careers in the world where every decision you make there is a winner and a loser. Quite a feat. But Mark didn't always want to be a trader. No, when Mark was younger, Mark said that he wanted to be a doctor. He wanted to help people. He even went and did some work experience with my father. Now, in preparation for this speech, I decided to do some research. And as I flicked through one of Mark's older scrapbooks, I realised that Mark had been telling porcupines. Now, underneath a number of the seats in each row, you have some envelopes. At this moment in time, if I could ask you to stand up and see if you've got an envelope and take out under the cushions. You will get to see one of Mark's earliest self-portraits. Merel&Mark! Who wouldn't want to be this guy? And what a lovely, vibrant orange suit he's wearing. And what does Merel&Mark think about? Yes, that's right, the mother currency, sterling. Now I realise that we have some of Mark's work colleagues, both past and present here. So chaps, have you ever seen Merel&Mark in all his full glory? No? This is most disappointing. But all is not lost! Because you see, I have part 2 of Mark's wedding present. Open it up. The prophecy can now be fulfilled. Oh, this has turned out better than I hoped for. I remember when Mark first met Merel, the excitement levels were off the charts, even for Mark. We had to persuade him not to bombard the poor girl with text messages straight away. I also remember the day that Merel returned back to the US. That was the day that Mark moved into my flat down in London Bridge. I haven't seen the man that upset since we were youngsters, and I don't think it was nearly the prospect of having to live with me for the next 6 months. Mark was absolutely determined not to lose you, and immediately set about making plans to try and transfer across to the US. However, it wasn't until Mark told me that you guys used to speak for hours on the phone every night that I realised, Merel, how extraordinary you must be. Anyone that has spoken to my brother on the phone will know that you are lucky if you make it past the 5-minute mark before he promptly disconnects you. Gotta go, bye. Love you, bro. Merel, you bring out the very best in Mark. You challenge him intellectually, helping see other people's perspectives. You're kind, you're loving, and I know that he just thinks absolute world of you. Plus, it's made to be. You both love cats. We are very excited to welcome you in to the Amazon Plan. Now, Mark, where do I start? I love spending time with you because you're like an open book. You wear your heart on your sleeve, you're never shy of anything you want to, and you're always up for a good laugh. You're unbelievably generous, and Lucy and I are so very lucky to have you as an older brother. Mum, Dad, Lucy and I, we miss you a great deal, but we realise that the US and Merel, they're now your home, and we are so happy for you. Now, I think that's quite enough from me. If everyone can be upstanding and have a toast to the bride and groom.